So yeah, let's talk about the Model 3 Performance 2024. It's a really great car, and it's a really good time to buy one right now. What can I say about this car? If you're looking for a fun day-to-day commuter, I think this is the perfect car. It's fast, it's fun, it handles well, it gets a lot of attention, and it's smooth, it's quiet. It has a fantastic audio system, and it can drive itself. What more can you really ask for? Tesla is currently giving $2,000 if you use my link to purchase this car. So $2,000 off the price of this car or any of their cars. And if you also qualify for the tax credit, and that's another $7,500 into your pocket. So this is a great time to buy the car. The car comes with these two 3520s on the front, and they also come with two 7530s on the back, 20s as well. They're staggered. I did take off the aero caps. I think it's a must. I think the car looks much better without the aero caps on. So supposedly you do get a little bit more of range with the aero caps on, but I'll sacrifice that range for the looks any day. In order to get the tax credit, you do have to get this color. And you can also get the white or the black interior. It's the same price. Personally, I think it looks amazing with the white or black interior. If I had to do it again, I honestly would probably do the black interior. I wanted to try the white interior. I was interested in it. While it's cool, I prefer it to be just stealthed out. This black, the gray interior would be, I think, a better match. But the white interior is amazing. Either way, you can't really go wrong. Either way you slice it. I have been told that the Model 3 Performance will be getting a speed boost option next year. It'll probably be around $350, and it'll get you from 2.9 to about 2.6 or 2.5. Now, does the car need the speed boost? No, not really. But will I get it? Yep, I'm gonna get it, definitely. Some things that I love about the car is, of course, no gas. Waking up every morning and your car is just ready to drive. I love the over-the-air updates. I probably received about 5 updates since I bought the car, and I bought the car about 3 months ago. So maybe 4 updates, 4 or 5 at least. The full self-driving each time has gotten better and better and better. It's a lot smoother, and though it's supervised, it's I would say 95% of the time you really can just kind of sit back and then just enjoy the ride. You know, you still got to pay attention, but sit back and enjoy the ride. It really does take the stress out of driving, especially if you have to commute to A and B every single day. Sitting here in the cabin, it's so quiet. Even though this is the Model 3 Performance, I would say it's maybe about 10% louder than the regular Model 3. My dad does have a Model 3 long range in white, and his car is quieter when it comes to the road noise. If you are in the market for just the standard or the long range Model 3, I think you're going to be extremely happy. I'll talk about a few things that I don't like about the car. I think the navigation is just okay. The maps on this car, while they're pretty good, you know, they look good. I don't find that they're up to date. There's a few highways that I live close by that were recently finished. I would say in the last 6 months, they've been finished, 6 to 8 months, and the maps have still not been updated on the maps here. I find that the Google Maps and the Apple Maps are much better. I also find that the paint on the car, it's just a very light coat of paint, and it seems to just scratch pretty easily. It's a very light paint on the car, which I don't like. I've received a few scratches. I got a little nick right here. Not sure if that's coming into focus or not. It's right here though. And I recently got a scratched right here. I've already treated it. I put some touch-up paint on the this scratch right here just today actually, and I'm going to buff that out tomorrow. So I'm just waiting for that to dry. Yeah, in my opinion, the car scratches pretty easily. When you do purchase the car, you want to make sure that you walk around the car. The one thing that I noticed much later is this gap right here. That gap is quite a bit bigger. I don't know if you can see that. Pretty big gap right there. And if I walk on this side here, the gap is just a lot smaller. I don't know if you guys can see that, but the gap is quite a bit smaller. You can't really see the hinge that opens up the hatch. Come back on this side. You can see there's just the gap is a little bit bigger there. That's probably the worst of my gaps. The problem that I'm having also with the car is if you turn on the AC for the seat, the cool seats, just pay attention now. You can kind of hear what it sounds like. I'm actually, for this test, I'm going to turn off my internal mic. Hold on. All right, so I've turned off the internal mic so that you can kind of get a better idea of what this sounds like. So, make sure when you pick up delivery, just kind of test this out too of your car. So when I turn on this cooled seat, just listen to it. It's kind of like a winding noise, kind of like a fan if you're blowing a fan, but it's like the motor is making a high-pitched squeal. I thought maybe that I could live with it, but when my dad took delivery of his Tesla, his Model 3, that was one of the first things that I checked, and his doesn't make any noise. If I turn, well, I can't turn the driver's seat on because there's no one there. But if someone's in the driver's seat, you'll have a little icon like this pop up on the other side. And if they're not there at all, by the way, just kind of a tip, you can you can take it right there, and you can basically just drag it down to right over here. You just put it right there, and it has its own spot. So anything here, if you want to just move it around, you can just, like if I don't want for instance, let's say I don't want the Bluetooth here, I can just click on it, and then if I want to put it back, I can just hold it down, move it kind of like an iPhone, and then drag it and let go, and just click out of it. So that's one cool thing that I do like about the car too, is the customization is pretty good. If they're, for instance, if you don't want to see all of these icons, like you're never going to use TuneIn, you're never going to use Spotify, or just some of the music choices, you can basically change it. So you can click on here, you can click right here, and then go to your sources, and then you can just take off whatever you don't want. And I'm just gonna put them all back because I just want all of the choices, and that's kind of how you do that. So if you like to kind of play around with the car, I would say it's pretty fun going in here and just kind of seeing all the little things of what you can and what you can't do. Like just today, I didn't really know that I can just come in here and control, what's playing back there on the back screen from the front screen. So if I wanted to go to Netflix, for instance, I can load it and configure it for my kids from right here. I can lock it. So, you have options there, which I do like. So I do think there are quite a few options in the car to just make the experience better, for your comfort, just driving the car in general. Like for instance, when I get home and I'm pulling up, I have the car fold my mirrors down for me. So my mirrors will fold down just like that automatically when I'm pulling in to the garage, for instance. And then they will also unfold. So it's just stuff like that you can do. Oh, while I'm thinking about it, let me give you guys another tip. Especially if you have an older, parent or an aunt or an uncle or just someone that wants to, for whatever reason, take their Tesla to a car wash. My dad, he went to a car wash the other day, and he was smart enough to go here to this. If you're from this screen here, let's just say from here, if you click on the car button here, you can put it in a car wash mode here. You can enter car wash mode, but there's one other thing that you have to do, is which you have to put the you have to enable free roll. So you just basically have to put this, you have to put the car in forward, and then you enable this free roll right here, and then you let your foot off the just let your foot off the brake or whatever, and now your car will roll through the car wash. So my dad didn't know to do that, and so he had to basically give it gas through the whole thing, and he was very annoyed. He felt like it was tearing up his car. And so yeah, make sure that you do that. Personally, I have a power wash at home, and I just wash my car at the house. I do it all myself. So, and I don't want the car wash, scratching up the paint, especially on this car. I think it would just tear up the paint really fast. That's another thing also. I don't know if you guys heard that, but this steering wheel is making it doesn't do it every single time, but when it's adjusting, when it's coming out, coming closer to me, it's making kind of like a low pitch hum noise. Let me see if I can get it to do it. So I'm gonna go to easy mode, or easy entry. So it's going in. Now if I go back to my profile, let's listen and see if it does it. I'll turn the air conditioner down. All right, so let's see if we can get it to do it again. Excuse me. You hear that? Okay, so that's one thing that I'm gonna need to tell the service tech when he comes out next week to see why it's making that noise. So it's just kind of stuff like that. My dad doesn't have that problem, but so I'm having it doesn't do that every single time either. I would say it does it 50% of the time. Let's see if I put it back. Easy entry. So that's how it should sound. One more time. Yeah. So, I mean, personally for me, I don't care. It's not the end of the world. I care more about this. Now, me having to listen to that, like when I'm on the phone, I can't do it, because, when I'm on the phone, there's no music playing or anything like that, and I got to listen to this noise. I used to drown this out with music, when I'm just driving the car, normal, and it wasn't that big of a deal. But the longer that I had it, and especially once my dad picked up his car, his Model 3, and his didn't do that, I knew I had a problem. I knew I needed to make a service appointment. So I'm gonna turn that off now. Also, I guess while I'm at it, at depending on how fast I'm driving the car, if I'm driving at like low speeds, let's say anywhere between 30 and 40, sometimes there's some kind of rattling that happens over here. I don't know if it's coming from this door or if it's coming from, the door back there. Um, but there is some kind of vibration. I didn't mention it or anything like that because it probably does it just every now and then, and you know it's not super distracting or anything like that. And I don't want them to tear up the car to try to fix something and they don't end up fixing anything, like a rattle of that sort. So you know that seems like maybe that's quite a bit of problems with the car that maybe would discourage someone from purchasing the car. The pros just by far outweigh the cons, you know, especially if you get the long range or the performance. Um, and I say that because you get the 17 speakers, you get the two subwoofers, and I mean the sound. It sounds just amazing in the car, and I've said that before, but it sounds incredible. But even if you get the standard or just the rear wheel drive long range, um, my dad has the rear wheel drive long range, and I mean it still sounds good, but the 17 speakers with the subwoofers, it just sounds phenomenal. So one sounds good, like really good, and the other one sounds just phenomenal. The last thing that, for me, it's a problem because I'm a big guy. I'm 6 foot and I weigh 250 pounds, and I'm definitely trying to get down. I'm trying to work on that. Um, but one of the things that I was very worried about before purchasing this car was the bolstered seats. Whether or not I would be comfortable in the car. And for whatever reason, there's a discrepancy between the passenger seat and the driver's seat that I'm in. My driver's seat is a little bit smaller than the passenger seat. So while when this thing was brand new, there was a break-in period for these seats, and I was not comfortable uh, driving a long period of time. I could drive maybe 10 minutes, and then I would start to kind of feel that pressure on my hips, and I'm again 6 feet, about 250 pounds. And so, for me, I needed to buy a seat cushion. I got this amazing seat cushion here from Amazon, and that just solved the problem for me. And it's extremely comfortable. Yeah, this seat cushion here is just amazing. So with this seat cushion, I am just, oh man, it's so comfortable. Now, of course, yeah, there is a downfall. The downfall is the air-conditioned seats. I can't feel it quite as good, on my bottom. But for the most part, I think with most people that are going to get the most enjoyment out of those air-cooled seats, it's going to be on your back. What's up, guys? So that's something to think about. If you are a bigger person and you're worried about purchasing the performance model, you might want to consider the other options instead of the performance model. But for me, I just have to have the performance. This is the fastest car that I've ever owned. I've always wanted to get a performance Model 3, and so I was willing to just sacrifice comfort or get a seat cushion if I needed to. And so that's what I did. And now that it's kind of broken in, you know, I can sit in the driver's seat without the cushion longer. If I was going to be on the road more than an hour, you know, I would definitely need my seat cushion because it's still not quite comfortable enough for me to go that type of range. It's still not quite that comfortable for me to drive for more than an hour or two, or more than 30 minutes, I would say. I want to wish you guys happy Thanksgiving, and I really appreciate you dropping by and checking out this review, checking out my video over the Model 3 Performance. So again, I will leave a link in the description where you can get $2,000 off the cost of this car or any other Tesla model if you use the link in my description. Go ahead and grab that $2,000 off, and then, you know, add another $7,500 off if you qualify. You know, I think that's a great deal that they're giving. So stay tuned. I will be posting more videos on the Tesla, more videos on tech in general, more videos on the full self-driving capabilities of this car. And I appreciate you guys stopping by. Y'all have a good one. Peace.